I happen to have released the book 2 years back, 2 to 3 years back, Success and Failure Based on Reason and Reality. And here I come again releasing my new book, Reason as the World's Masterpiece. The purpose of calling you today is to officially launch this book, but the essence of the two books combined, they don't differ a lot from each other. But the essence of the book is to try to push my fellow Ugandans towards mindset change. Because I believe reason is at the center of each and everything we do in life as human beings. As a Ugandan, Uganda comes first. As an African, Africa always comes first. But as a human being, humanity comes first. Obviously, with God's blessing as a constant factor. I've been blessed. I can't say I'm a poor person, but the reason for writing this book is to see if indeed I've been blessed. What am I doing different from the rest of the people I live with that I feel they can adapt and also become successful? That is the sole reason as to why I write these books. I believe if people can start reasoning, they can really make it big in life. For I believe the distance and gap between success and failure is basically reason. Reason is an entity that looks at that done rather than that ought to be done. With reason, the end justifies the means. So if someone has got the ability to invoke and apply reason in each and every element of life, they have capacity to make it big in life. I define reason as that ability of making a deep critical analysis and assessment into all the prevailing circumstances around you before you make a decision towards any aspect or challenge in life. Reasoning is the key to prosperity. Reasoning is the key to success. That is why I authoritatively said in this book, as a personal opinion, that reason is the only direct path for Uganda to elevate from poverty to prosperity. But it has to start from we Ugandans. We have to take the responsibility or the onus upon us to develop ourselves at an individual level, but also at a national level. With collective input of all Ugandans, Uganda shall prosper. Currently, we are 46 million Ugandans, but we have 2 million direct taxpayers, meaning that majority, that is 44 million, are a liability to this young nation. If we front reason through mindset change and accompanied by a robust agro industry, because AMO Enterprises is in the process of currently putting up integrated agro-processing plants to elevate and create demand for agro-produce through import substitution domestically and also internationally and regionally, to see that we penetrate the markets and increase on our exports. I call upon all Ugandans to take time and read these two books, Success and Failure Based on Reason and Reality, and my new book, which I'm releasing right now, Reason as the World Masterpiece. With reason, we can push this country from where it stands, because Uganda currently stands as one of the poor nations, but with reason, we can push this country from poverty to prosperity. So I encourage all Ugandans to get out there. Please adapt to the custom of reading, buy this book and read it with an open mind. For I believe if all Ugandans can change their mindset, we can have this country prosper. Unless if you have some questions.
Can you try and link reason and human capital based on what is in the book? And secondly, what do you think is holding back Uganda's agricultural produce, beyond value addition?
He has asked a very interesting question, that how can I link reason and human capital? In my first book, for some of you read it, I try to describe capital And most Ugandans are confused when it comes to elements of capital. I said capital is not the amount of money you desire to put in a business. No. Or the amount of money you desire to have before you start working. But rather capital is what you have, is actually the requirement of a business. What that business requires is actually the capital. But now he's asking, how do you link reasoning to capital? I happen to have defined that in this book, and I told you, before you even go to financial capital, you have to first look at you as a person. Your mere being alive, life itself is capital. Being of full age and competent understanding is capital enough. Because development of a person starts with you as a person. If you haven't yet comprehended that within reasoning perimeters, then you will never start. So the starting capital, the starting factor of capital is actually you. If you don't count yourself as capital, then you will never start. And your reasoning capacity is key on the decisions you make on our way forward. For instance, I said in the first book, find time, draw your entire thinking and reasoning capacity to yourself. Try to sit down and identify yourself. Identify your perimeters of weakness. Identify your perimeters of strength. Find out how can you use your strength and weakness towards your starting point. Because people in most cases are looking for miracles to start. But you can only start with what you have. If you have 1 million, why do you desire to start with 10? Ask yourself, what does the million I hold, what can I do with it? Instead of saying, where will I get the 10 million? Whereas you are looking for the 10 million, survival is a constant factor. You are spending the 1. And the 10 may not come, so you will never start. You have 3 million and they tell you maybe you can ride the boda and you say, no, that is below me. But we live within limitations of our reasoning capacity and what we hold at hand. That means if you have 3 million, you can only start at that business. Maybe the only business available is to start with a boda. Anyway, that is a little bit wide. But in fact, that is why I say to some extent, it is okay to be poor because poverty is a temporary state where someone has nothing or little. But once the circumstances change, the prevailing circumstances change, also your life can change. You can be poor because you are born from a poor family. You can be poor because of the prevailing circumstances, the people you live with. Company is a very determinant factor of someone's ability to move forward. Do you have a company that builds you, or you have a company that friends that discourage you on whatever you do? But the moment you change the prevailing circumstances, you are able to elevate your life and start thinking towards actual productivity. So, and that is why I say negativity defeats reason. I said, but a failure is one who in his mind knows and believes it for the fact that he can't make it. Ignorance is an element of failureism, whereby someone thinks they know everything. They are not even open to listen to what someone is putting up to them. Now someone will just say video of Ham and say, Ham has nothing to tell us. But you haven't even listened to what he has to say. That is how we end up being permanent failures. So this issue of reason, reality, and the prevailing circumstances is the only key to prosperity. Let it be at an individual level or at a national level. The gentleman is saying Ugandans are really contributing towards their individual prosperity as well as national development. But when I say that we have 46 million Ugandans and we have 2 million taxpayers, so meaning majority are a liability. You see, so what mechanism am I using to say that majority are a liability? Sorry to say, but I have to bring it the way I'm telling it to you now. When I'm discussing perimeters of reason and reality, I tell you something for what it is, from a realist point of view. Is Uganda a poor country? A majority of Ugandans poor?
Yes, according to him.
Yes, so if Uganda is a poor country and majority of Ugandans are poor, then it is a realistic fact that Ugandans haven't put in an effort towards elevation of their lives. I said reason looks at that done rather than that ought to be done. Reason does not give praise for fulfillment of an obligation. Why should we keep praising people and telling them that they are okay, yet they are not? You see, that in its own becomes a what? A problem. You see, Ugandans, you can't take praise for fulfilling an obligation because it is our obligation as Ugandans to develop this country. But now, okay, can I praise you for having swallowed medicine when you are sick? Can I praise you for, you want your wife to praise you for having paid fees for your child? Yet you brought that child to life. So, unless we take personal responsibility as Ugandans and take it for a fact that our unproductivity is the cause of our poverty, we shall not move forward. It is a fact that we are poor, and it is a realistic fact that we have to put an effort towards collective development of our country. We can't keep pointing fingers to everyone else for our failure apart from ourselves. I'm poor because my parent didn't give me capital. I'm poor because government hasn't done this. I'm poor because my friends haven't given me money. You can't push that. You can't keep pushing that responsibility forward to other third parties without necessarily addressing the problem to you as a person. So, my brother, it is a realistic fact that we are poor simply because Ugandans have not done enough towards elevation of their individual life as well as prosperity of our country. No, in life we can push up to the extent of our ability and capacity. The fact is that I'm doing what I can with hope, maybe with time others will follow, and together we can look at prosperity of our nation, Uganda. We can put it at the front. Yeah. So I don't believe there has to be a start. If no one is doing it, then there is a problem. But if I've started, then others will come on board. Because you see, I take this opportunity to address people who feel they have made it in Uganda. You see, when you are living in a poor society, where majority of the people are poor, it is more a liability than an asset. Because you see people reach an extent of saying, maybe I'm poor because Ham has my money. No, it is a fact and I can't blame you for that. So, the reality is, we should work towards collective prosperity rather than individual prosperity. Otherwise, people are becoming more desperate every day, and it is evident everywhere. So unless we come up and find ways of elevating our fellow Ugandans, specifically for me, I've identified two things now: operation mindset change and a robust integrated agro-processing structure to push the country forward. So maybe other Ugandans will come on board, and together we can work on a way forward to see how we can elevate our fellow Ugandans at an individual level as well as country level.